Hey friends, welcome to the In Focus podcast, a show for photographers who are looking to grow and scale a photography business that feels good. I'm your host, Gina, a wedding and elopement photographer, industry educator, coach, and most importantly, your friend. On this show, we'll dive into actionable strategies, industry trends, and all things photography related so you can leave each episode feeling inspired and in focus. Welcome back to the In Focus podcast. I'm Gina, and you're listening to episode 3 of our 5 steps to transform your photography business today series. So far, we've talked about creating a clear business vision and building a standout portfolio. If you haven't listened to those episodes yet, I highly recommend going back and checking them out. They are foundational to everything that we're covering. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most challenging and important topics for photographers: pricing. Specifically, how to set up pricing strategies that not only attract clients, but also reflect your true worth. If you have ever struggled with knowing what to charge or felt pressured to discount your services or worried that clients won't pay your rates, this episode is for you. Let's start by addressing why pricing matters so much. Pricing is more than just numbers on a page. It's a reflection of your value, your expertise, and the experience that you are going to deliver. When your pricing aligns with your worth, you attract clients who respect and value your work. When it doesn't, you end up overworked, underpaid, and frankly burnt out. One of the biggest mistakes that I see photographers make is basing their pricing on what they think their clients will pay instead of what their work is actually worth. For example, I've had photographers tell me, I'm afraid to charge more because I'll lose clients. But here's the thing. If you price too low, you're sending the message that your work isn't valuable. And guess what? The clients who are looking for a deal aren't the ones who will appreciate your art. So will you lose clients? Maybe, sure. Hopefully you do lose clients because you're losing the clients that don't place the same value on your work that you do. I think a lot of the time in these kinds of podcasts, you hear the comparison to like luxury brands, right? And their pricing. They don't discount their pricing because they are confident in what they're offering and they know their price point is what sets them apart. But here's another way to look at it, and it might be more relatable for some of you who might be thinking, well, I'm not a luxury brand. I want you to think about the last time that you went to some sort of service provider. It could be like a haircut or an oil change for your car. They told you a price and you paid it without question because the price was set, and it's because it was a service that you needed. Shift your mindset now and think about yourself as offering a service that people don't only want, but it's a service that people need. When people need something, they'll pay whatever price is listed. You are a need, my friend. So how do we go about creating a pricing strategy that reflects our worth and resonates with our ideal clients? Let me break it down for you in 3 foundational steps. Okay, number 1, know your costs. First and foremost, you need to understand your cost of doing business. This includes not only your equipment and your software, but also your time, travel, marketing, and taxes. So for example, if you're shooting a wedding, I want you to think about how many hours you spend on communication, emails, then think about time getting there, think about time shooting, editing that session or wedding or whatever it is, and then delivering the final gallery. I think a lot of us underestimate the actual time, and this leads to undervaluing our services. A good rule of thumb is to calculate your hourly rate based on your income goals and use that to assess if your packages are priced appropriately. For example, I'm just going to throw some numbers out there, but if you wanted to make $100,000 a year and plan to work 40 hours a week for 50 weeks, your hourly rate should be around $50. So you can kind of use this as a guide for your package creation and put in the numbers that you want to work a week, for example, and go from there. Okay, number 2, research the market. You can look around at what other photographers in your area and niche are charging. I wouldn't say to base your pricing solely on that though. You can use it as a reference point and then consider what sets you apart. So for example, maybe you offer luxury albums or personalized consultations or same-day slideshows. Those kind of things elevate your client experience. This added value can justify a higher pricing compared to your competitors. But market research should also help you just understand what clients in your area value most. And you can highlight those aspects in your packages, like in your pricing packet or on your website. Number 3, define your value. Your pricing isn't just about tangible deliverables like prints or albums. It's also about the experience that you provide, especially in this industry, especially with what we do. Are you the photographer who makes couples actually feel at ease in front of the camera? Or maybe you help them feel freaking confident, like Vogue models. Do you create galleries that are full of storytelling moments and candid captures, unlike other photographers in your area? These are things that you should highlight, and they're your unique aspects, and it helps clients see the value in exactly what you specifically offer. Okay, for example, one photographer I coached came from a background in documentary style shooting. I think she was like actually working for like a news station or something like that at the time, but she was trying to get more into weddings. So she at the time had shot a few weddings, and she had really beautiful work. We realized that her strength and her actual superpower was capturing the in between moments. So the detail shots and the B roll, if you will, that helped tell the full story of whatever she was shooting. Her galleries truly made you feel like you were there, from what the weather was that day to how the energy was in the room that she was shooting. It was actually just really special and beautiful. So she began branding her services as emotional storytelling experience instead of just like session or, 8 hours or whatever it was. And it really completely elevated her offer and allowed her to confidently charge more. So when these elements work together, your pricing strategy will reflect the full scope of your value, both tangible and intangible. Okay, so now let's kind of dive into some of the common challenges that photographers face when it comes to pricing and then how we can overcome these. The first one is the fear of raising prices. Many of us worry that raising our prices will scare away clients. Here's the truth. When you're priced too low, you're often undervaluing yourself and attracting clients who don't appreciate your work. To overcome this fear, try incremental increases. So just little tiny increases. For example, if you're currently charging $2,000 for a wedding, increase your rate to $2,500 and see how it feels. See how people react to that. See how inquiries come back to you and what they're saying. You can always start by pairing a price increase with added value, like a complimentary engagement session or a small welcome gift to make this transition smoother for yourself. One photographer that I worked with was really overdue for some increases in pricing, like so overdue. She had a steady stream of inquiries and had no pushback on bookings, though she was still hesitant to increase. She was in my one on one coaching program for 3 months. So I said that we were going to increase her pricing of her sessions each month by $100. That is like such a small increase, just a little incremental increase. Her sessions went from $300 to $600 in 3 months. The first month, to make this transition a little bit easier, she added 5 prints into her session fee. I think at the time she said her cost on that was about $15. Absolutely zero pushback on this price increase from anyone who inquired in that second month. And more importantly, she felt like she was giving more, and she felt confident in this increase. So just by adding those 5 prints, she just felt so much better and had like zero question on that increase. The second month, we kind of had to sit down and have a little heart to heart. And I asked her if anyone had pushed back on her increase at all or even questioned it. She said no. I asked her how many hours she was putting into each session. And at the time, her sessions were lasting more than 2 hours. Plus, she'd put the time into planning, driving, shooting, editing, and delivering. And then we dove into what she was actually delivering. And there were so many photos and the option for them to just like download and use all of them however they wanted, which was huge in value. So we rephrased her packaging to make sure that all of this was highlighted. And when we did this, we saw no pushback because she communicated the value behind that price increase in that third month. It's been a year since we did that, and she's actually a lot more expensive than that now, which I'm super proud of her for. But it's just getting over that initial fear and like taking that little step forward. Even if it's just $100 a month, just start getting used to that price increase and getting confident in those newer prices. Okay, the second challenge that photographers face is handling discount requests. Okay, have you ever had a client ask, "Can you give me a discount?" Oh, the immediate ick that I feel with that question. First of all, it's just like an immediate devaluation of the service that you're providing. So, okay, instead of immediately lowering your rate, try reframing this conversation. For example, you could say, "I don't offer discounts, but I'd be happy to customize a package that fits your needs." Alternatively, you could also offer non-monetary perks, such as maybe add 30 more minutes onto their session time or something. If you even feel like you need to do that, do not go straight to devaluing your core pricing. This allows you to maintain your worth while still addressing the client's concerns. And again, sometimes you don't have a customized package that can fit their needs, and that is okay too, because there's probably a photographer out there who would be a better fit for them. Okay, our third challenge is confidence in communicating our new prices. So, confidence is key when discussing pricing with potential clients. Practice saying your prices out loud. No, like literally in the shower, say your prices out loud until it feels natural. Remember, you're not just charging for photos, you're charging for your time, your expertise, and the unique experience that you yourself, that you and only you can provide. I think one easy way to ease into a new pricing increase and give yourself kind of a silent confidence is to start by just putting the new price on your website or anywhere that your pricing is listed. Then at least it's out there in the world and you've taken that first baby step and you have it in writing somewhere to back you up. Second, when you're communicating this to clients, like on a discovery call, I want you to lead with the value first and really just dive into that value. Lean on what you're offering. So, for example, here's how I talk about my 8-hour package. My package includes 8 hours of continuous wedding day coverage. And I'm with you from the time you guys start getting ready. I'm there leading you guys through photos and family photos. So you don't even have to worry about missing any of those key moments. And then I'll be there with you to capture the entire ceremony. I make sure to get all kinds of angles so you guys can look back and see all of your friends and family's faces and all of the details and not feel like you've missed a single thing. And then I'll stick around through dinner and dancing so I can capture you guys having so much fun with your friends and family and lots of candid moments and plenty of captures into the evening of your wedding. This package runs about $7,000 and it also includes a beautiful online gallery that you can share with your friends and family, show off your photos and your day. You can also print directly from it. So it's super easy, not only for you guys, but also for your parents to order prints. And then I'll even build out a custom slideshow inside of there that is really my favorite part. And it's shareable too. So you guys get all of that plus personal printing rights, unlimited downloads, and just all of my planning and help is all included in that. So you kind of see how I did there. Like I had the pricing in there, but really it was the bulk of it was like about what I'm offering them and what's included. I wanted to paint the picture for them of their day and kind of make them fear not having me there before they can fear the number that's associated with that. If you are someone that finds it hard to discuss pricing in person, consider building out like a beautifully designed pricing guide that outlines your packages and value. This can serve as a visual aid during those initial inquiry calls or discovery calls or whatever you call them. And it helps just make that conversation feel more structured and professional. A well-presented pricing guide is also just reinforces your brand's professionalism and value, and it can help clients feel confident about investing in your services. If you are someone that's not super design savvy, you can buy these on like Etsy, or there's a lot of photographers that sell them as well that are already beautifully designed, and you just need to go in and make them yours. All right, my favorite part of these episodes are real life success stories. So let me share a story about a photographer who transformed her business by rethinking her pricing strategy. When we first connected, she was overwhelmed and underpaid. She told me, I'm shooting 30 weddings a year and I'm barely making a profit. I literally almost threw up in my mouth for her because that is so much work for not making a profit. I knew we needed to do something fast because she was literally going to burn herself to the ground. So first, we started by breaking down her costs and time commitment for her weddings. It turned out she was making about $10 an hour after all of her expenses. So that was a sad moment for her. But together, we created a pricing structure that better reflected her actual value. So first, we started by increasing her price for her core wedding packages like across the board. This was going to likely have her booking fewer weddings, but she was going to be able to be at a higher price point. I also dove into her branding a little bit with her. For a big increase like this, you do need to have branding that matches that value. So we made sure that her business looked as good as it truly was. So we did updated photos on her website, new brand colors, just so she could feel fresh. We cleaned up her pricing packet to match this new look and even carried it over into her social media as well. We also worked on her messaging inside of her pricing packet, but also in her initial inquiry emails and social media captions. So just kind of making sure that we were emphasizing the personalized experience that she provided to her clients and the value that there was in that. Again, she was already shooting 30 weddings a year, so she had plenty of inquiries coming in, but it just wasn't sustainable for her. So really, shooting less weddings at a higher price point was what she needed to be doing. Here's the result. After that year, she ended up shooting 22 weddings. She had a net income of right around $75,000. That's 8 less weddings and a lot more money than she was making. That's 8 more weekends that she was free to do whatever she wanted to be doing. She told me after that for the first time, she felt like she was running a business instead of it running her. And for that, I just couldn't be happier for her because that's how it should be. All right, let's recap what we covered today. Pricing is one of the most powerful tools in your business, but it has to be intentional. So your next steps from here are to break down your costs and understand your numbers of your business. You could research the market and identify what truly sets you apart. There's a little bit of internal digging you have to do there to just really identify your own strengths. And you have them. I know you do. If you need any help finding them, shoot me a DM. I'm happy to help. And then third, practice confidently communicating your prices and making sure that they're beautifully communicated to your clients as well. Remember, pricing isn't just about making a living. It's about creating a sustainable business that allows you to thrive. Don't be afraid to charge what you're worth. Your dream clients will see the value in what you offer and they'll be excited to work with you. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the InFocus podcast. If you found this insightful or helpful at all, I'd love for you to subscribe and leave a review. In our next episode, we'll dive into the marketing strategies that can help you stand out and attract your dream clients. I will see you then, and until then, keep smiling and stay focused.